setting boundaries is very, very, very important, because when you're setting boundaries, you're not only avoiding people to come and enter into your personal space and invade it, essentially ruining your life, but you're also preventing energy vampires to come and drain the energy that you have. You're preventing people to come and provoke all the painful emotions that you have kept stored inside. You kind of prevent people who come and put you off balance, put you off this amazing feeling that you have. Like, you'll be having an amazing day, and some guy will just come in and say something that kind of triggers every single painful memory that you have, and then you're out of balance, you're out of alignment from this higher vibrational state, and then you'll go on about the day. I mean, that incident was just very small, insignificant moment in your life, but then you go on about your day, and that incident kind of runs your mind. You're thinking what you should have said, what you should have not said, how you should have behaved, how this person is so bad, and your whole day is ruined. And then you go meet the people around you who are nowhere connected to that incident and that situation, but then your energy, like, you are in the state of anger, panic, guilt, and shame. Your energy kind of radiates there, and you fail to appreciate the person who's sitting right in front of you. You kind of put that anger onto them. You kind of put that anger, that pain, that shame kind of radiates in your daily activities. It kind of poisons your soul in a way that you can go watch the best movie, you can go to a vacation, and you'll be still run by that incident, run by that person who came and triggered all these emotions. The reason that happened was because you let them. When they come and trigger, when anybody comes and trigger your emotions and you don't get triggered, like you feel it on the inside, but you don't react. You don't give that person power. Or you have a strong mindset, you have a strong frame. You're completely solid and resilient. You don't let any external factors affect your emotional state. Master your emotional state, right? Always master your frame. Frame control is essential because you have the ability to control your emotions. When you have the ability to navigate, control, and actually hold that frame at any given social situation, you would dominate that situation. And when you dominate that situation, it'll be much more easier for you to set boundaries. And when the other person is coming and trying to provoke you, the other person is expecting a reaction from you, because they love to create drama. And when you don't really give in, you're truly in your frame, you don't give in, and instead you set boundaries to that person, like, hey, look, motherfucker, if you cross that line, I'm gonna punch you in the fucking face. Like, if you set harsh boundaries, the person will not disturb you, right? You see, people who go and provoke other people, they go provoke people, or essentially they assume these other people are weaker than them. They know that you don't have a strong frame. They know that you don't have harsh boundaries. And that is why they come and get in. That is why they kind of snoop inside, invade your personal space, trigger every emotion, and take advantage of you. So having a strong frame is key. Having boundaries is very essential, because only when you put boundaries, you will prevent yourself from facing any major messed up stuff that has been created by some person, because people will take advantage. We are not living in a wonderland. It is not always sunshine and rainbows. Even if you are vibrating at this higher vibrational state, if you did all the inner work, if you did all the shadow work, if you are reprogramming yourself, being this amazing being in this higher vibrational state, there'll be constant tests from people, from lower vibrational people, who try to pull you down to their vibration. There are always energy vampires who kind of leech upon you, your vibrational state. They pull you down, and when there's off balance, when there's out of alignment, and there's a loss of energy, they kind of take in that energy, and you kind of lose your luck. You go talk to somebody, and they drain your entire energy. You kind of feel drained. You feel empty on the inside. It's because they are energy vampires. You fail to set boundaries to these energy vampires. You fail to be guarded. Now, how do you actually deal with them? One thing, on the external stuff, you can have this immense, in a grounding state. That happens only if you let go, only if you practice mindfulness and being in the present moment. Once you let go of your past trauma, you have the ability to tune in to the present moment and stay in the present moment and actually hold your frame, irrespective of what anybody says. Like they'll try to trigger you, and it doesn't really happen on the inside because you have done all the inner work. And these are just minor triggers that happens, and you have the ability to control your state at any given moment. But then on the inside, all right, this is how you set boundaries. When you notice people trying to come and trigger you at any given moment, because these energy vampires are so good, they're so charismatic, they'll swoop in, they'll start talking all this bullshit, they will start talking about your pain points, all the painful things that happen in your life, say them right to their face. Look, you're crossing the line, do not cross the line, or there will be consequences. And actually mean it, because people don't go attack people who have strong boundaries. They go attack people who they think have no boundaries, who they think have no frame, who have a very weak frame. Nobody goes and puts their hand inside an alligator's mouth because they know the alligator will rip off their hand. Nobody goes and tries to provoke the tiger when the tiger is out free in the wild because they know that the tiger has very strong boundaries. The tiger will fucking eat them alive, because that is why they go and attack people who seem like they don't have any boundaries, who seem like they don't have a strong frame. And what I mean by strong frame is, a strong frame is you are essentially having this amazing mindset, this strong mindset that is not being affected by any external factors. Like you are being grounded, you're holding true to your facts, your opinions, your beliefs, your likes, your dislikes, and irrespective of what any motherfucker comes and tells you, you're holding on to your frame. Being true to yourself, you don't really give in, you have boundaries. And when the person starts to cross the boundary, immediately tell it. Because it is so hard. All this sounds easy. All of this sounds easy, but the reason we don't do it or implement it is because we have the fear of being judged. Because most of the times the people who cross our boundaries are our close friends, our family friends, and our relatives. These are the people that constantly come, trigger every painful emotions that we have. They come and they provoke us, putting us off balance, off alignment. And it is so hard to set boundaries because we have the fear of not being loved, not being accepted, the fear of not being part of this group. And we have that fear of the social pressure that comes upon, because it is so easy, to be grounded, to say your opinions and facts, but we don't want to face the social pressure that comes from saying your opinions, that comes from holding true to your beliefs. Because there's a social pressure that arises. If everybody there is telling, I like tea, and you're the only person who likes coffee, and you tell, no, I don't like tea, there's a social pressure that comes. You have to face that social pressure. It is hard dealing with that. And that is why we choose to stay and have this low vibrational frame, have this weak frame, and not, put up boundaries. We choose to let people inside our boundaries because we don't want to face that pressure. We don't want to come off as mean. We don't want to come off as like an asshole, a douchebag. We always want to be the good guy, and listen, in life you're either the dominating guy or the one who gets dominated. There is no balance. You can try to balance, but either way, you have to go either way. At any given situation, if somebody is crossing your boundaries, if somebody is crossing your limits, you have to tell them then and there itself. And hold it true and be very stoic about it. You don't have to go punch them in the face, like I mentioned before. You don't have to bite off their hand like an alligator. But once you're in that strong frame, once you hold your frame, hold your ground, you're grounded, it kind of radiates outside. that radiates outside, and that is form of the energy, that vibrational state that kind of radiates outside, and they kind of pick it up, and then they don't mess up, they don't mess with you anymore, because they know whatever words they're telling doesn't trigger you. And this happens only if you do the inner work, only if you let go of all your past trauma, and you are in this higher vibrational state. And a very good exercise for grounding, is to balance your root chakra. Your root chakra, or now it gets very esoteric, it's located at the base of your spine. Your root chakra is basically you being grounded. And I'll give you a very simple technique. I'm not going to ask you to go chant some 300-page mantra. A very simple technique is go spend some time in nature. Trees, plants, has a very grounding energy. They have a very grounding effect. They help you balance your emotions. And sometimes even taking deep breaths in and out in any given social situation. If you feel like they're crossing your line, if you feel like they're crossing your boundaries, take a break. Tell them you'll be back in like 5 minutes. Go to the washroom, go get some free space, get some air to breathe. Take in deep breaths and let it out. Calm yourself down, because when you are being out of alignment, when you're being provoked and triggered, your heart starts beating faster, your mind starts racing, and there's less oxygen flow to your brain. And this disables the prefrontal cortex to actually start thinking and make amazing decisions at that proper time. Go get that blood flow. Take a deep breath in, take a deep breath out. Detach your painful emotions from your decision making ability. Only then will be able to set boundaries and not come off as a douchebag, not come off as an asshole. Take in deep breaths in, take a deep breath out. Always work yourself, try to put yourself out in nature more. Meditate under a tree. You see all these monks meditating under a tree, because that tree kind of helps you to absorb all the negative energy. And I even made a whole video on how being in nature, trees and plants kind of absorb the negative energy from you. You can watch that down. I'll link it down in the description below and the pop-up card here. So you can go watch that. You can go spend some more time with the nature. You can go spend some time in beaches, mountains, and also take a deep breath in. Whenever you see an emotional spike in your emotional state, when your emotional levels are really not doing well, it's going all over the place, take deep breaths in. Take a deep breath in for 4 seconds, hold for 2 seconds, and let it out for 8 seconds. It's very simple. Do it. It'll get you thinking. And once you're thinking, it'll be so much more easier for you to set boundaries. The people who try to trigger you, they'll see they're like, there's no point in trying to provoke this person. This person is so grounded, so calm, stoic, grounded in their own truth, in their own beliefs. And our words, us coming and triggering this person is like throwing stones to a mountain. You'll be that mountain. You'll be unmovable. You'll be unshakable, practically invincible. And then it'll be so much more easier for you to set boundaries. And once you set boundaries, people will not dare to cross the line. When they cross the line, you let them know then and there itself. Do not wait for the perfect moment, because the perfect moment is now. Let them know then and there itself. Look, you're crossing the line. If you cross, you'll face consequences, and actually mean it. This will actually prevent them from taking advantage of you. So have a strong frame, have strong boundaries. And this is how you can develop a sense of strong frame and strong boundaries. If you have any questions, or if you have any experiences like this, you can let me know them down in the comments below. And as always, thanks for watching.